If Pulsechain launches tomorrow, are you ready for it? With the anticipation building up, the question on everyone's mind is, are you ready to invest? In this video, we'll be discussing what a good investment ratio for Pulsechain might be and how much potential profit you can expect to make. So, if you're curious about investing in Pulsechain, stay tuned and let's explore this upcoming launch together. But before going further, it's important to know that this video is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay up to date with our latest videos. Now, let's get started. Predicting a good ratio for buying PLS and PLSX tokens with limited data can be challenging, especially if the system state launch is causing massive blockchain activity to be replicated. One approach to tackling this problem would be to monitor the blockchain activity and track the performance of the tokens over time. This can help to identify patterns and trends in the market that could be used to predict future price movements. However, it's important to keep in mind that the crypto market can be volatile and unpredictable, so any predictions should be taken with a grain of salt. Another approach would be to analyze the fundamentals of the PLS and PLSX tokens, such as their use cases, market demand, and competition. By understanding these factors, investors can make more informed decisions about the tokens' long-term potential and determine whether they are a good investment opportunity. Let's devise a winning investment plan by analyzing the available data on Pulse and PulseX tokens. We can begin by performing some calculations. At the current market value, the price of HEX stands at $0.058 and the sacrifice rate for Pulse and PulseX is $0.0001. To determine the ratio between the two, we can divide the current value of HEX by the sacrifice rate, which is 0.058 divided by 0.0001, equal to 580. Therefore, the current ratio is 580 to 1. However, we should also consider the sacrifice rate, which could vary from 2 to 3 times up to 4 times. Dividing the ratio by 3.5, a reasonable US dollar multiplier from the sacrifice would give us 165.7. So we could aim for acquiring 165.7 Pulse or PulseX for every P-Hex or E-Hex copy we have, which would be a good ratio to consider. The crucial question now is, how much should we invest? So, would it be wise to invest all at once or adopt a dollar-cost averaging strategy and trade HEX for Pulse or PulseX incrementally? The answer depends on the ratio. In this case, we believe a ratio of 165.7 to 1 is a viable option. Therefore, obtaining 165.7 Pulse or PulseX for each P-Hex or E-Hex copy might be a wise decision. Keep in mind that investing doesn't have to be all or nothing, so take your time to weigh your options and make a well-informed decision. When it comes to investing in new tokens like Pulse and PulseX, it's important to have a well-thought-out strategy in place. This means taking into account a variety of factors, including the current ratio, your personal investment goals, and your risk tolerance. Let's start by discussing the pre-bridge ratios. These ratios can be a useful way to gauge the potential value of investing in Pulse and PulseX. A good ratio means that you can get more tokens for your investment, while a bad ratio means that you'll get fewer tokens. Therefore, we need to consider the ratio when making our investment decisions. If the ratio is good, we may want to consider investing a larger portion of our allocation in Pulse and PulseX. For example, if the ratio is 200 to 1, we might feel comfortable investing up to 50% of our allocation. However, if the ratio is not as favorable, we should be more conservative with our investments. In this case, we may only want to invest 15% to 20% of our allocation. But what if the ratio is really bad? In this scenario, we may want to invest even less, perhaps only 10% or less of our allocation. This is because a bad ratio could indicate that the tokens may not be worth as much in the long run. It's important to note, however, that we should never completely abstain from investing. Even if the ratio is not favorable, we should still consider investing at least a small portion of our allocation. This is because the ratio could always get worse, and we don't want to miss out on potential gains. On the other hand, we should also be cautious not to invest all of our allocation into Pulse and PulseX. This is because there's always a risk that the tokens may not perform as well as expected. By investing only a portion of our allocation, we can mitigate some of this risk and protect our overall investment portfolio. In simpler terms, when deciding how much to invest in Pulse and PulseX, we should look at the current ratio. If the ratio is good, we can invest more. But if it's not so good, we should be more cautious. However, everyone's approach will be different based on their personal preferences. If you got in on the Pulse and PulseX sacrifice, you may want to consider trading your PLS or PLSX for HEX if the ratio is favorable. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to the pre-bridge ratios. Now, let's talk about the potential gains with Pulsechain. The amount of money sacrificed for Pulsechain was lower than other similar projects, so there's room for growth. Ethereum and BNB have much larger market caps than Pulsechain currently does, but Pulsechain has the potential to close that gap. Even if we only reach the market cap of Cardano, we could see a 20x gain. HEX has a market cap of $11 billion, and we believe that Pulsechain will be even larger. Pulsechain has already surpassed the number of users that HEX has, so we could see some significant gains. A 10x gain on day one is achievable, which would put Pulsechain at almost half the market cap of HEX. HEX's success has shown that it is possible to unbank oneself and to invest in a decentralized system that is free from the control of banks or governments. With over 120,000 stake customers holding their own keys and interacting with the smart contract themselves, HEX has proven that it is more than just a marketing gimmick. The excitement generated by HEX's achievements is expected to draw even more people to the Pulsechain ecosystem. With the launch of the Pulsechain mainnet imminent, there's a lot of anticipation and excitement around the project. In terms of market cap, a conservative estimate is that Pulsechain can achieve a 100x growth for the first 48 hours after the launch. Considering its small market cap of $670 million, this growth is very achievable. This means that the launch of Pulsechain presents an excellent opportunity for investors to get involved in the crypto ecosystem and join the Pulsechain community. Thank you for watching our video on the upcoming launch of Pulsechain. As we've discussed, Pulsechain has the potential to be a game changer in the world of cryptocurrencies, and the excitement surrounding its launch is palpable. It's important to remember that investing in cryptocurrencies carries risks, and you should always do your own research and make informed decisions. That being said, the launch of Pulsechain is an exciting opportunity for those who are interested in the crypto world, and we encourage you to be a part of this community. So, don't miss out on the launch of Pulsechain tomorrow. Stay informed, stay involved, and let's see where this exciting journey takes us. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Are you excited for the long-awaited launch of Pulsechain? You can also follow us on Twitter as we update all the new information on Twitter first. We will get into its details in a minute. But before that, make sure to like the video and subscribe to Crypto Pulse to never miss the content on Pulse ecosystem.